We source from 6 different countries right now, I think. We source from India, Colombia, Peru, Sumatra, Ethiopia, and Tanzania. Yeah, that's actually, you'll find that a lot of, like, all the roasters in St. Louis use the same. So this is the Indian coffee. And the Indian coffee is special because they make it in a way to mimic back when Indian coffee was coming to Europe on these like big wooden ships. So they let it sit out in the rain for months, and that's why it gets this like, it's like really, the beans are large, and they have this like pale like bleached color from lying out in the monsoons. Most of our decafs are chemically decaffeinated. We have one that's a Swiss water method, but this one's the regular coffee and this one's the decaf. So you can see why decaf doesn't taste quite as good.
Yeah.
Because it's
looks burnt almost, kind of.
The Sumatra, which is like, it's pretty standard coffee next to the Indian coffee, and you can see how different they look.
And the Indian coffee is stronger, or the?
They're actually, we roast both of these varietals like very strong and dark. They're probably our two darkest roasts. But the India has like is very, very smooth, low acid. Some people say it has like a briny flavor.
Briny.
And the Sumatra is like bolder, I don't know, what you would think of as like a strong, bold carbon. Yeah, it depends on the customer. If it's somebody who's like asking about coffees, I might recommend something new to them. The Ethiopia is small. And you can start, I can start recognizing them based on like just seeing them over and over again. So this machine, and I don't know that much about the roasting process, but basically the beans go in the top, and they funnel into this thing which gets really, really hot, and that's what roasts them. And what happens inside the bean is it like heats up and caramelizes, and it cracks at some point, which is like an audible sound, like popcorn popping. And then there's a second crack later on in the roasting process, and we roast to the second crack, which is a full city roast, and that has, it's a darker roast, it has lower acidity, more caramel tones, but still like retains the flavors of the varietal. Whereas something like a French roast is really, really dark. No matter what kind of bean you use, it's all going to taste pretty much the same. It's just about the roast itself. Whereas some coffee shops, like Blueprint on the Loop, they roast much, much lighter, maybe to like the first crack. And that's why those coffees are much more acidic, because they're lighter roast. It's like 1957 for that thing up, and all the coffee comes down into here where it cools. It's in here because since it comes from fields and there's just people picking the coffee, sometimes there's like rocks or just metal in it, even at this point in the process. And if you see those cups up there, those are full of things they've collected from the coffee.
Oh, interesting.
Ideally, you want to use it right after you dry it, within a couple minutes. That's a big part of our business, is the wholesale orders.
So you can talk us through it.
So this is the espresso grinder. We're taking the roasted espresso blend and grinding it into
What's that do when you push down?
tamps it down so that it'll make the best espresso. The longer it takes to brew, the coarser the grind. So French press, you know, you leave it in the press for like 4 minutes, whereas espresso it takes like 20 seconds to pull a shot. it closer. The like kind of foamy stuff is called the crema, and that's how you know that you pulled a good shot. If it's just like the dark brown, then that's a bad shot. And then I'd like pour it out and try again. And we do everything by hand. So now that you've seen this process, if you go to a Starbucks and you look behind the counter, they just have an automated machine.
So you can
This is
change
a lot of
that
pressure.
based on-
So it's like a trip around the world in one cup.
I
think it's everything except for the cans. Yeah, I hope you have to do for the whole thing. Yeah.